going on, guys? Let's continue today with Minesweeper. This is a very interesting game because I use very deep analytical critical thinking to solve this game. Don't mind me and the screen talking because I got a lot going on. Okay, my daughter's crying, my girl's feeding me and talking to me, but staying focused. So let's talk about the 9 parts of the brain that you have to use in order to solve Minesweeper grids. So number 1 part of your brain or your mind is going to be intuition. You need very good intuition to play Minesweeper. Now, don't get me wrong, if you don't want to use intuition, that's fine. But you're going to reach walls in which you experience points in where you absolutely do not have the answer. And so you have to lean on your intuition in order to solve certain grids, certain puzzles, certain situations. And so none of us have the absolute perfect intuition, right? I mean, there's a few people who are psychics, but most of us don't realize that we have that same ability, which we call intuition. The problem is our intuition is inconsistent. So therefore, this is why I advertise Minesweeper so strongly. The more you use your intuition, the more you can develop it. But it's a long, painstaking process. You have to play Minesweeper, you have to use intuition just like you'd have to use any part of yourself in order to develop it and make it strong. So intuition is the number 1 part of your brain that I would say you use for Minesweeper. Number 2 would be critical thinking. You have to be able to tap deep within yourself in order to solve the Minesweeper grids. You have to be able to focus very deeply. You have to be able to assess the situation. You have to be able to be patient with yourself and take your time to apply pressure on your mind to find the answers. So number 2, critical thinking. Number 3, focus. Number 4 is attention to detail. So number 3 is kind of like focus attention, just making sure you're aware, but the quality of the attention has to be very, very sharp. Okay, now this is kind of a wall because there's no clear answer. So let's pause on, counting the parts of the brain. There's 17 minds right now. And at this point, I'm looking at the left toward this grid. No obvious answers, but I can see around that 3 is, I know, it was good. I can see around that 3 is about 3 minds. The 1 and the 2. The 2 ones have a mind and a mind. So that's 5 on the left side. Now, when I look on the right side, I see 1 mind between the 3 and the 2, and then that 4 has 2 minds, and then that 4 has 2 minds. So that's 5. So I'm like 5 plus 5, 10, 7 random minds. I'm like, the minds may be connected. Let me just click the corner. Okay, perfect. Bam. All right. Now we're at 12 because now I just located 2 minds. Right? I know where the 2 minds are. Still not crazy. So I'm like, I can't rely on trying to grab a space. So I'm just gonna have to grab a mind. So who here is gonna give me the highest likability of clicking a mind? Now I could go for that 3 on the left side, but instead I went for that mind in between the 3 and the 4 on the right side. So I'm like, had to use intuition to solve that. Okay, boom, all right. Click behind the 1, okay, got it. All right, intuition, guessing, whatever. We got it done. So, solved. All right, 7 minds left. Now it gets a little complicated. All right, now remember on this side I only saw 5, okay? So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 minds. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 5, 6 minds. And there's 1 left over. So there's a little bit of space here actually right at the top. This is what you call critical thinking. Being patient with yourself, taking your time. Don't get frustrated because you don't have the answer. You know, we're going to get into the deeper parts of the mind you need to use to solve Minesweeper, but you can't tap in deeper if you're not patient with yourself. So the fundamental parts of your mind, which is just pure attention, intuition, critical thinking, these parts have to be very strong so you can tap into the higher parts of your mind, like deductive reasoning and probability thinking. So I'm focusing here, 5 minds, focused, super focused. There's 5 minds here. Corner, bam, all right, bam, okay, here we go, all right. So now technically that's 6, 7 minds. I can technically see the minds now, or have a very good idea for where they are. So now I'm taking my time. So there's 7 minds. I'm feeling like, okay, I'm close now. Because technically I counted 5, 6, and now I just found the 6th or 7th mind. I noticed that those 2 blocks right there, one of them is a mind. So that means above that 3 is 2 minds, which is that 2, which means 1 out of those 3 are minds, which means now I get to solve the riddle now, the grid. All right, 4 minds left. 8 squares with 4 minds is tough, but I just found that mind, boom, boom, because that 3 said there's a mind, so that space couldn't have been a mind. That 2 cleared it out, boom, and we got it done. Boom, first time around, critical thinking, intuition, being patient with yourself, love yourself, meditate. Peace.